Good morning and welcome back to Total Football Talk. Thank you for joining me, and we are going to look at all of this news coming out of Manchester United, and as always, just does not stop. We keep flowing with the news. It keeps rolling out of Manchester United. So let's dive in and look at the top stories, and we're going to look at Roger Fernandes. There's a lot of talk about Roger Fernandes at the minute. We obviously missed out on Quenda. We now need a replacement for that right side, and I believe that Roger Fernandes is someone that we're looking at. I think there's going to be a lot of competition, so we'll dive into that one. We'll also look at the asking price for Semenyo, which is a little bit outrageous. We'll look at what's being said about Tyler Dibling and Rubin Amorim. We'll also look at what Antony's been saying and a little bit on Chido in regards to the FA Youth Cup game, which is taking place this coming Monday at the start of next week. So quite a bit to get into. There's obviously been a little bit of more news kind of breaking just while I was getting this morning prepared. So we'll look into that. But let's look at the story in regards to Roger Fernandes, who is an option now that Manchester United are seriously looking at. Since they've lost out with Quenda, we do have to bring in someone who can play on that right side, I believe, because as versatile as Dalot is, and as good as he's been before Amorim has arrived, he has been poor since, I believe, partly due to being overplayed. He's overplayed too much, but he hasn't had a very good season. He's had a couple of good games here and there, one against Liverpool, and that was on the left side against Trent. But it's been few and far between, unfortunately, for Dalot, and probably at the stage now where, is he just a squad player who can come in and do a job? Because I don't know if he's going to be a regular going forward. But Roger Fernandes is someone from Braga that Manchester United are strongly being linked with. And obviously, Rubin Amorim has a link with Braga, having been their manager a little while ago before he went to Sporting. So he obviously has links in there. But from what we also heard this morning is, I didn't hear it. It's just kind of doing the rounds that there's about between 12 and 14 other European clubs looking at Roger Fernandes. His price tag is going to be around 25 million, which is similar to Dorgu, which is, I think the kind of bracket that we're looking at of the types of players that we're looking to bring in. And so, I mean, what do you guys think? Obviously, were you disappointed that we didn't get Quenda? Do you think that Roger Fernandes, I haven't seen him play. I don't absolutely. I only know what I've read so far. I've not seen any videos. I believe he is a right-sided, right sort of wing-back who, is similar to Dorgu, can get up and down the field, has skill, knows how to put a cross in, has a great work rate, and is defensively sound. And as obviously he's very young as well, so he has that energy and enthusiasm that Rubin Amorim is absolutely looking for. So that's where we are with that one. Drop your thoughts in. Let me know what you think. For me, he's obviously a little bit older and maybe has a little bit more experience in some ways than Quenda, but who would you prefer to have? We lost out in Quenda. I think we balls that one up. I think this is kind of our second option. Like Mendes was the first choice on the left side, and we've gone for Dorgu. He was the second choice. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you agree that he could be an option going forward? And then we will look at Semenyo and the price tag for him. And so the asking price for Antonio Semenyo is £70 million. Now, £70 million. What are we saying about that? For me, he's had one good season in the Premier League. As I said before, he's been a little bit of a journeyman. He has grafted in different leagues and he has worked his way up. And fair play to him. And he has talent. And I think there's a really good player in him. But he's had one good season in the Premier League. Is that enough to warrant a £70 million transfer price tag? For me, personally, not. No. And I think if it is 70 million and that's what Bournemouth want, I actually don't think Manchester United will go anywhere near it. I just don't think we can afford it. And he will obviously want big wages as well. So I know some of you guys in there have been would like to see Semenyo come in. I also think he's a very, very talented person or kid, whatever. Or he's actually not a kid. He's actually got quite a bit of experience in his mid-20s now. But I think he would be a very good additional to the squad, but not at 70 million. 30 million at a 40 million. I don't know. Get your guys' comments in below. What do you think he's worth? Because 70 million is just absolutely ludicrous. So I have a feeling that if that is the case, that Manchester United will also let that one go. And also we've been linked with his teammate Huijsen, the centre half, and I believe this morning that Real Madrid are now interested in this young kid, 19-year-old Spanish defender. And because we've been linked to him already, and I think if Madrid are linked to him, Madrid seem to get everybody. Well, we got Euro from Madrid, which was brilliant. Huijsen obviously has Premier League experience. Very, very, very good player. Obviously scored the winner against us this season already. And I think that he would be a good buy. But again, price tag might be a bit too much. But then this was news that was coming out in regards to Tyler Dibling. And Tyler Dibling is a kind of dream target for United. He's a player they like, but very expensive at 100 million, and with FFP could be complicated. Could be complicated. Of course, it'll be complicated. Southampton believe he's one of the best in the world in terms of potential in his position. Now, potential is one thing, and I'll talk about it again. That's all it is. You're paying 100 million, and you'd be just getting out your crystal ball and praying that this kid isn't going to pick up injuries and isn't going to falter at every chance, or the shirt isn't going to weigh too heavy on him. He is a very talented lad, and as I've said already, he has had some good games, but he's also had some games where he's not played that well for Southampton, and that's nothing on the kid. He's 19, he's learning his trade, he's playing in the Premier League for the first time. Of course, he's going to find it really, really difficult to have every game be, absolutely spot on. If he was maybe pulling up Messi and Ronaldo numbers at a very young age, like they were when they first kind of burst onto the scene, like when they started to hit the start of their peak, maybe you could look at a slightly higher figure. But 100 million, I don't think so. Not even 40 million for me. If he was to come around 30 million, that's maybe something worth looking at, but not at 40 and not at 100 million. I mean, I don't know what Southampton are doing here. The only thing that I think that we may have a chance with, it's not the price tag, but has Jason Wilcox still got a good relationship with Southampton because he's come from there? So maybe he's got it in there that we don't know about. But again, we'll just have to wait and see on that one. He is hot property at the minute. Everyone is looking at him across, Premier Leagues. I think Bayern Munich are also interested. So, let's see where he ends up. I just think we will buckle under the price, which I think we should do, because I don't think he's worth 100 million at all. Now, this was coming back to the Angel Gomes story. But before going any further, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button and get into the comments. That would really help me out. Would also be much appreciated on the old screen, the old thumbs up. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for staying with me. Okay, let's get back to the story of Angel Gomes. Clubs in the Premier League are chasing Gomes and his move to the Premier League, and there's two or three strongly likelihoods rather than Tottenham or Manchester United. Apparently Manchester United and Tottenham are winning the race to sign Angel Gomes now. Obviously, Angel Gomes has been with Manchester United before, came through the youth academy, has played a few times for the senior team, was moved on to Portugal because he wasn't quite getting the opportunities that maybe he deserved at the time. Came in under Mourinho, was the youngest player to ever play for Manchester United. I don't know if it was the Premier League, but definitely for Manchester United. Kid had a lot of talent playing as a 10, has dropped deeper into the midfield role, more of a 6, maybe an 8. Has skill, knows how to conduct and control midfield. I'm just not sure if he's got the dog-like sort of qualities that Rubin Amorim is looking for in his midfield, and I'm feeling he might fall a little bit short on that. So he may be a free transfer, and it may be an interesting one, but I don't know if he will come back to Manchester United. I don't see it happening. But that's not to say if he does come back, welcome him with open arms, and I'm sure he'll come in, and I'm sure he'll do a very good job. So this was Antony talking about his time at Manchester United, and he's kind of like, not that he's going against what the agent has said, but he says, if they pay the kind of money for you, it's because you have talent and quality. I will always speak highly of Manchester United. I'm very grateful to the club and Eric Ten Hag, and what we experienced together for the titles, for everything that we've learned. I had difficult times here, but also good ones, and I think it's prepared me to be where I am today, enjoying myself. My mind is here, and I am happy. So nice to see that Antony is actually enjoying himself in Spain and La Liga. He's flying at the minute. He's helping keep the possibility of us selling him at we're obviously not going to make a profit on him, but as long as we can break even on him and we can get his wages off the books, I think that is a very positive story. And it's nice that he's not criticising Manchester United, because obviously his agent was having a go at Rubin Amorim and saying the Premier League wasn't, or that there was no physicality differences between the Premier League and La Liga, and we all know that there is. So interesting little story there from Antony. And then finally a little bit on Chido, and this is just in regards to his situation with the academy. And Adam Lawrenson was kind of talking about the FA Youth Cup game, which is going to be massive for Manchester United. Our history with the FA Cup is the Youth FA Cup is first class. We've won it a lot of times. I think it's only Chelsea that have maybe won it more than us. But we have an amazing history with it. And no, I tell a lie. We've won it more than anyone. Sorry, I apologise. I think Manchester United, I need to double check my figures. I should know that one. Manchester United have won it more than anyone else. I think Chelsea are second in those. Chelsea have had an amazing run. So has Manchester City of recent times. But it looks like Chido will not be playing potentially in this game, because we have the game against Nottingham Forest on the Tuesday. And I think that the club will have priorities with the first team, and he may have to go there. And they also talk about Chido isn't the only one who might not be available for that game against Aston Villa on next Monday, because there's one or two others as well that's kind of being said there by Adam Lawrence that might end up in the first team. So bit of a shame that we still have a brilliant team, and hopefully the guys can do enough to get through to the final. But I think it's going to be made harder, because, as I said, some of the absolutely sort of grade A quality talent that is in the under 18s might not be there. So that's where we are with that little story. And hopefully the boys can get into the final and give us the chance of winning a bit more silverware in the FA Youth Cup. Would be amazing for them and their progress. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Keith, and if you've enjoyed the content, please hit the bottom right hand corner of the screen, hit a like. I'm trying to get better at this. I have a long way to go. I realise that when I watch my videos back, I am not a natural at this. So anyone who's stuck around to the end, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I will keep learning, keep trying to improve, and hopefully, just keep bringing the 10 to 15 minutes of content every day for you guys going forward. Thanks very much. See you tomorrow.